In this Indie Spotlight by Twin Rail Game Reviews, I'll be showing off the game Toki Tori 2 Plus by Two Tribes. Now, Toki Tori 2 Plus is a Metroidvania style game where the story behind it is that there's this black ooze or strange stuff that's making its way through the forest, and it's up to you, Toki Tori, to go through the forest and find out what's going on. Why is this stuff happening, and how do you get it corrected? And so throughout the game you have two abilities that you basically have. You have the ability to whistle, either just tapping to whistle up, or if you hold your button down then you whistle down, which is actually used for a couple tunes that you end up learning later on in the game, and it's used for interacting with the environment. Another thing is your ground pound. So as you see here, whistling brings some guys towards you, whereas the ground pound will push them away. The whistle and ground pound also interacts with other things in the environment with different ways. So as you can see there, treats different guys different ways. So we're just getting through here. Now you see there the little animations that the guy is doing, that the different creatures are doing. You know, the graphics are fantastic. You love the graphics and sound effects, the background music. You know, it's such a chipper friendly game. You know, it makes you feel happy. So we're just going through here. Now this guy here doesn't really do much for right now. Just floating your weapon around here, but yeah, just kind of giving you little hints as you go through it as to different things you can do. So as you can see here, he's got to grab it, then you need to ground pound to make your way up. Then these little wings here that you collect. There's a lot of these. I haven't collected them all yet. Apparently when you collect all these little golden wings, then something happens. I've yet to find that out. Should go back and play my game one of these days and finish it up. And so I'm not sure why people don't really like this game, because apparently this game didn't sell very well on the Wii U, which makes no sense to me, because it's a fantastic Metroidvania style game. Sure, it's not your typical game where you're finding items and you're also collecting weapons, blasting bad guys, that type of stuff. But this one, it's still collecting items. There's a lot of stuff to collect, but the focus is on logic puzzles. And some people might think the graphics look kind of kiddish, but I think the graphics look perfectly fine. If you want to see kiddish graphics, go to old Nintendo games and look at Mickey Mouse and I think it was Alphabet Land and Numberland. Like, there's your kiddish graphics. This game, blows that out of the water big time. Maybe people think the puzzles are too hard, or they don't understand what they're doing because there's no hand holding. Well, there was no hand holding in Metroid for Nintendo. Like, come on, people, give it a break. Like, this is, like I said, a fantastic game. The attention to detail is fantastic. The animations, the sound, like, I don't really see where there'd be an issue with this thing. You gotta do a lot of thinking because a lot of it is logic puzzle based. So as you can see here, you gotta do this just right, because you will need that guy in a minute. So making our way up there. As you see in the backgrounds as well, the background graphics there, the different layers, it looks fantastic. It's like, wow. And I gotta wait here, because see, if you try to move without waiting for the guys to get out of the way, it doesn't really work too well, because if you ground pound while he's being brought up, then he drops him off. Well, he wasn't within my ground pound range, but yeah, you have to make sure you don't ground pound too quickly, you don't move too fast. Otherwise, the things are going to stop you from getting things done properly. And so there we go, gone through one of the areas. And there is quite a bit of backtracking as well, because once you realize you can do different abilities, then you need to go back and utilize those abilities or those interactions with the environment. Because right now, when you first start playing, like, there's a lot of things that you don't realize that you can do, and then it kind of hints at you later on that you can do these things. And as you can see here, the map as well, it's a decent map. Now, this isn't even the whole map. This is maybe a fifth of the map, give or take, or maybe a quarter of the map. There's a lot of panning around that you can do once you get, again, a different ability to see further on the map. And that thing I opened up there, actually, once you find a certain ability, there are certain musical tunes, you can learn up to 5 tunes, then you can actually warp between different areas that, like those little beacons there. So that's pretty cool, because you definitely need that, because otherwise you're doing a lot of manual backtracking through all these puzzles, and yeah, that's a big nuisance. And so I'm definitely happy for the flying ability. And then, like I said, there are 5 different tunes that you can learn. And apart from that, on the gamepad screen, which you can actually play this on the gamepad, it's not mirrored. So right now, by playing on this screen, on the gamepad side of it, I have a listing of the 5 possible tunes that I can collect. And then also it shows me like a little, sort of like a mini map, I guess you would say, of this stage, because in there it has where you are, along with where the different level exits are, that little warping point. And here it's kind of telling you a hint. You know, I'm kind of stuck, so what do? Well, I've got to do this whistle. And once I do it, then it actually appears on my gamepad screen showing me, you know, I've got this new tune figured out, and it tells you right up there as well that it'll send you back to your last save point. So, you know, that's pretty handy. That, like I said, it doesn't really there it kind of tells you because you kind of need to, but other spots, you know, you've got to find these tunes because they're fairly well hidden for the most part. And there's another tune that allows you to actually utilize a camera, you know, take different pictures, because there is another spot where you can collect pictures of everybody. And you can see here the background, you know, it looks fantastic. You got the water going down the mountain in the upper right there. You got the trees just spinning around there, kind of like rustling in the wind. So much attention to detail. This is such a fantastic game. So just making our way through here and getting through this level. So once he's turned, you gotta whistle him to spin him around, up and around. So that you'd have to think as to what you need to do next. And so right here, gotta bring him around. Now if you were to pound right on him directly, it just shoots him straight up into the air, onto the ceiling, and you don't want to be doing that. So you definitely have to be careful when you ground pound, when you whistle, and what happens. Because if we go like this, and I do it right on him, see, then it kind of flips him up in the air, which we don't want to do, because you don't want him getting stuck up there. You gotta whistle him around so he grabs him, because you want to be in the right spot for that. And yeah, I don't like if it's an issue with people thinking these puzzles are too hard or the hand holding is not there. Well, like a lot of these puzzles, I'm sure a 6-year-old could have figured out by now, because these are actually fairly simple. A lot of the puzzles later on, they are a bit more tricky, a bit more complex. It takes a bit more thinking to kind of figure them out logically. But yeah, I'm very impressed. I just love this game. I'm so impressed with how well this game was made. And it really baffles me as to how this game just wouldn't have sold very well. Maybe people didn't like the first Toki Tori, which is basically, it's a puzzle game. Because on the first one, the point is you've got different stages that you go through, and you're collecting these eggs. I think it's like 8 or 9 eggs per level. And then it's, you know, basically just simple puzzle, you know, puzzle game collecting eggs, which I haven't actually beaten yet. I have to go back and finish that up. And this game is so much more. Because it's not just puzzle solving, it's exploration and having, you know, a full story as to, you know, a situation that you have to try to overcome. And so yeah, if you played the first one and you're kind of basing your blandness of this one over the first one, yeah, don't. They're two completely different games. And so here you are just filling up these different statues or rocks. I guess they're sacrificial areas, I don't know. Then they kind of give you little hints, you know, little teasers as to things coming up that you have to get to. And so it could be, you know, a guy you're looking for, an area you need to reach. So they definitely kind of keep trying to push you in the right direction with subtle hints. That way you know you're doing something. And so here we go, this part's been done again, or you know, this part, and then move our way around, and there's different doorways, as you can see, because you can go left in certain places, you can go right on certain places. It depends on which door you find, and how you get there depends on which puzzles you go through in the level, and which ones you figured out you can do. And so it is tricky, and yeah, like right here, I just fell down, which I shouldn't have done. So you can't go back up there, it's too high. So you go down, and then the bird reminds you, hey, you can go back and respawn yourself. So go ahead and do that. You got the little guy waving at you over there. It's pretty cool because you got the town, because you can see the background there. You got the wall to the town, which kind of gets you going. Just working our way around here, and yeah, you can see little fruit in the background there. Those are little pumpkins. Yeah, you can see. So now you are, stuck over here because you got that black stuff coming at you. So then you have to, again, you figure out, well, what do you got to do? So as you see, these guys kind of, mimic, relay your sound. Yeah, so you got to do it again, bring them over. You got to keep on doing it. And ta-da, you keep on going. So yeah, again, I keep saying it, fantastic game. If you like Metroidvania games, you've really got no reason, because I love Metroidvania games, and I really, really enjoyed this game. And so I highly recommend people give this a game, pick it up on the local eShop, and give it a play. And that is it for this Indie Spotlight.